Alrighty, good morning YouTube. Hajim Zero here, back with another quick movie review. Finally made it. This is gonna be pretty much, I wouldn't say last, but it might be a while before I do any more movie reviews like this. Um, mainly what happens in the comment section. If you guys comment a lot, for me to do the rest of the series, I'll probably do it anyway. Um, but hopefully all the movies I have in my collection, I can do proper, long commentary and of course get permission from the movie studios to do that kind of stuff. But anyway, this is Furious 7. Adjust the camera a little bit. Oh crap. Uh, uh, huh. Anyway, this is Furious 7. Pretty much the connecting, well, what Vin had pretty much said about this movie, starting with like the fourth Fast and Furious, it was pretty much set up the next trilogy, and then with seven is the start of a new one. Uh, as you can see, is some plot threads hanging that ended with six because the main goal in the last movie in six, all the characters got parted and they can come back to the U.S. with no major trouble, and home was the ultimate guide and theme of coming back. Uh, in this one, the main villain, in the last one, Luke Evans' character, Owen Shaw, he's crippled, and Jason Statham, who was introduced, is his big bad brother, and wants revenge. That's like one of the main starting plots. The second one is them being hired by Kurt Russell's character to get this like some kind of device or something. Uh, I think it's called Nightshade. No, it's the God Eye. My bad. I think the Nightshade device is in the next one, or could have been in the last one. I just realized I didn't talk much about the villain's major plot in the last one, but when it gets to the eighth film, it all makes sense that six and seven were and eight are pretty much heavily connected, mainly with Dom stopping multiple teams, multiple mercenaries. So it's so many different intricate pieces throughout this timeline and story. But those are pretty much the whole plots. The main plot of the movie is very heavily action packed. Uh, Also, additionally, to the cast, more musicians, two new musicians, and two other people from the fight world also appear in this. T Pain and Iggy Azalea have like small cameos. T Pain really doesn't say much. He's in that Dabu scene, and of course Iggy is in the beginning of Race Wars. Tony Jaa and I can't believe I forgot her name. Yeah, Ronda Rousey. They appear pretty much as the MMA and martial arts fighters in the world, and or people, whatever you want to call it. Uh, Daijim, I maybe pronounces his name. Diamond Hanju is the secondary bad guy. He's the leader of that mercenary team going after that hacker device that the character Ramsey had created, which is played by Natalie. I can't remember her name either. She's on the Game of Thrones. She's a very beautiful woman. She's pretty much in the rest of the series. Pardon me if I forgot her name, but of course, all these people are going to be tagged in the description. Of course, you can look on IMDb. I feel bad too because she is a beautiful woman. But majority of the major cast return, even Han and Giselle, who have cameos, played by Gal Gadot and Sung Kang. Lucas Black from Tokyo Drift has a small cameo as well. He gets more screen time in the next one when the stories really deeply interconnect. Giselle pretty much in the main cut of the film, she only appears in a photo, but there is a deleted scene where it was revealed that she was the one that took a lady to the hospital when she got injured. But because she wasn't mainly in the movie, and also because of continuity, that scene was kind of cut out. Because the more and more analyzing I watched it, I realized the continuity issues. Like number one, um, what was it? If you've seen the fourth one, it's implied that what was it? What's the name had crashed the car, Letty's car in L.A. and she presumably had died slash got an amnesia, and then additionally, it was supposed to be it's intercut with another deleted scene when Letty found out that her and Dominic had actually got married. So it's kind of like, okay, I can see why they had cut this scene out. It was good for Giselle that it was kind of revealed that she wasn't that much of a bad guy. Even in the fourth film, she's running. She's with a drug runner and also a dude that's involved in human trafficking too, which was revealed in the sixth movie. But it's kind of funny how it's understandable for pacing reasons why they cut out scenes, but in that particular one, I understood that it was a continuity issue. Like someone forgot to watch, yeah, the fourth movie and realized it's understandable if she was chased all the way through Mexico, but yeah, that crash looked like it happened in L.A. Especially when Dom came back and wanted to see the crash site. So yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's kind of funny when you watch that scene and then you realize why it was cut for continuity reasons. Um, I think it was something else I had discovered in that scene too, but I can't really remember what it was. You guys will probably tell me in the comment box. Um, the cars that were featured in this, it was three in particular I liked. It was Dominic's off road Charger. It was the GTR that Brian rides in. You just saw a clip of it, and of course it was the white Super at the end, which was owned by Paul. There's that final scene. It's a memoriam for him, and you could say how lame it is, at least for me, because I didn't know the dude, but I really am going to miss seeing him in films because I saw his potential when I reviewed and talked about him in Running Scared. And I think the movie, the sentimental movie he made before he died was called Hours, which was about a father trying to save his daughter right around Hurricane Katrina. And it just sucks, what had happened, and it's kind of fucked up with all of the speculation and I don't even want to call them jokes, but criticism that came out after finding out he died in a car crash. And what a lot of people don't know, he was with one of his best friends who didn't get that much recognition, and Paul wasn't even driving the car. His racing buddy was, and it's just pretty tragic. I really feel more for his family. You know, the director Justin Lin has spoke very fondly of him, and even James Wan, even though they didn't work that long together, who directed this film, is just when I was watching in the theater and I was having all those nostalgic moments of seeing the old clips of him, and not just in the Fast and Furious movies, but all the movies I've seen him in, Joyride as well. I seen him a little bit in The Skulls, like I said, Running Scared, Takers. So, he was just a very, very humble guy. A lot of the philanthropy had came out about him after he had passed away. It just sucks that since people shit on these movies, some people have their opinions. It just sucks that no one really looked at him or knew about him like that. Him and like Keanu Reeves are like some of the most humble people in Hollywood, and that's like a stride that I wish like all actors would be. He wasn't that much of a flashy dude. He didn't have a big ego. He was just a guy who loved to have fun, and acting was like the good plus. Brick Mansions was also one of his final complete movies as well. This one was intercut because he had died in the middle of production, so his brothers had to do a stand-in. I know one of his brothers is also an actor, Caleb, and it was heavy speculation with more of the movies that his character was going to come back, but his brother was going to be the stand-in. You know, uh, Watching some of these features, especially with the Race Wars one, it was a very good callback to the first one. Even the character Hector had came back, and I'm hoping with the final one because they keep saying like they were gonna do grounded, a much more grounded Fast and Furious movie in honor of Paul. And right after this one, almost in like each and every single one of them, there was a little bit, of keeping him in the franchise, even though he wasn't there anymore. So yeah, they do it in eight, they do it in nine. I think they, of course, indirectly they did it in 10 too. So hopefully, they go back to like the very old school, drag racing. Hell, it'd be nice if Rob Cohen came back and, him and Justin Lin pretty much one started the franchise and the other one had directed like most of the movies in the franchise. But of course, I heard the situation with Justin Lin, so I don't think he's coming back ever, But it would just be nice that if the last movie really focused on, what the franchise had really started with. And watching these movies, it gave me a lot of nostalgia, especially the first three. Like, I remember exactly, almost every single one of those movies where I was when they came out. And like I said, the fourth one was the first one I saw in theaters, and I didn't see the last one in theaters, but pretty much all the way up to like nine, including Hobbs and Shaw, my mom and I actually saw those in the theater. You know, the first four and five I saw by myself. I think six I saw by myself. Seven was the first one that we saw together. So it was pretty nice, and just seeing that memoriam of him. And of course that Supra in the Charge at the very end. It was a callback to the very first race in the end of the movie. Trying to think of some other things to talk about. The other car that I did like too was that Lycan Hypersport. I think they said they only had seven of those in the world. That was in the scene in Abu Dhabi. That they drove through the towers. Hopefully that car makes a return to any kind of film. To be honest, uh, but overall, in closing, despite of how much you want to make fun of these films, how the crazy over the top action, you have to admit it is the first series that, at least in the first three, it focused heavy on the sport of racing and respecting, cars. You know, I'm speculating that a lot of the dialogue and stuff they say about the cars are very, very true. Especially when I talked about Tokyo Drift and how drifting really works, and with the all wheel drive and certain the difference between imports and American muscle, and some of the other European cars. I'm not a heavy car guy, but like I said, this series was the first that really gave me appreciation for cars and even old ones. Hopefully when the series ends, someone else does another racing action series. It'll be a nice balance between more races, and car stunts, and just it's a good mix between characters as well as seeing the cars in the film. You know, that was the trouble that a lot that the first ones kind of had. It didn't get deep into character depth until the fourth film. It's so much that you can do with certain things about cars, or even going to other countries and looking at how their cars look. So especially when I talked about Cuba in the last one, and of course, Japan and Europe, you can definitely tell the flavor of where certain cars came from. Um, Hell, I think what was it? I haven't even seen this car in a while. It was the Lotus. I think it's a European car, more likely British. It's funny how the Fast and Furious didn't pick that one, but there's some YouTube videos on here on this platform where you can look up all of the different cars that were going to be in the movie, and it's hella crazy. Even Jeff, I don't know why I said his name, but my mother's ex-boyfriend, him and I were talking, and one of the cars that he had, he stated that his was up for an audition, at least whatever car he had, not his that in particular, but the particular model car that he had was up to be in one of the films, and it just got rejected. The good thing about these cars, they have to match, pretty much the characters in the movie. So, Vin is more of the furious. He has more of the muscle cars. Brian is more fast. He has more of the import cars. Even though we've seen both characters switch into different cars that they drive, and hell, even in this movie, Roman, I think it was two cars in particular that was a callback to the second movie. In that mission where they're falling out of the sky, he has that Camaro, and that was a callback to the second one when him and Brian had did that job, at the very end of the movie. And then what was it? The car that he had at the very end of the movie where they were playing hot potato. I can't remember what car it was in particular, but that was the first car that Brian and Tom Barrett's character had saw in his introduction in the second movie in the Dirt Derby. But and also Jason Statham with the Aston Martin. It's a straight up British car. It goes with his character and who Jason is. And it's just very interesting how these deep, character moments, are spliced in. But pretty much that's all I have to say. Like I said, in the future, with all the movie reviews I've done so far, hopefully I get to do audio commentary. That would be nice. But you know how movie studios are, they'll strike you, immediately, even though you didn't step out of major lines, but gotta love DMCA's. But overall, hopefully, I'll be able to do more YouTube videos. Like I said, I want to finish off the rest of the series because, of course, Fast 10 just came out and they said they were going to do two more. I'm not too sure about Hobbs and Shaw, but like I said, when I get more money, I'll buy the whole Blu-ray and watch the features and give you this kind of content. I'm probably going to do it anyway. It's just going to take a lot longer. I am in the middle of moving currently right now. I was trying to get all these videos shot before I move out of this building and go back home. But yeah, it's been a nice journey so far. The good thing about watching all these films, a lot of them were very, very nostalgic for me, even in the TV shows. But I'm getting very, very sentimental. I'm gonna cut this short, before I just keep rambling on. But I will check you guys out in the next review. Peace.